Good morning everyone, I'm Pablo, and back in October 2019 I flew to Auckland to spend a year in New Zealand on a working holiday visa. A year that, little known to me, was about to become one of the most memorable in recent history, and not for good reasons. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and give the video a like, and over the coming weeks I'll be sharing the crazy details of my time there along with the unforgettable things that happened. I spent a total of just over 8 months on the South Island, and it was a turbulent time to say the least. But despite everything that went on, I fell head over heels in love with the South Island and the beauty that it possesses, and I cannot wait to return. So here are 7 amazing spots on the South Island that I massively recommend. So at number 7 we have the West Coast, and it's often overlooked, mainly because it's wet, it's wild, but it's also home to some of New Zealand's most amazing natural wonders. We lived and worked in Fox Glacier for a while, and my word did it rain. It rained to the point where we literally got stuck there due to landslides.
Oh bugger!
And I'll go much more into detail about that in my next video. My wife and I regularly went down to Lake Matheson for a walk, and it's absolutely lush down there, bit of a tropical paradise. If you visit on a rare still day, you can capture a perfect reflection of the mountains on the lake. On the drive south towards the west coast, you'll find yourself stopping to take regular photo opportunities, and Franz Josef Glacier is also a must visit too. As a treat, we regularly take a drive over from Fox Glacier and use the hot pools there. And number 6 is the city of Dunedin, which is hands down the most underrated city in New Zealand. I was legitimately surprised at just how nice Dunedin was. The city has a fusion of both Scottish and Maori influence, and I tend to have a soft spot for coastal cities. This one certainly delivered. The Otago Peninsula is to this day one of the most beautiful places I've ever visited. My wife and I spent a day there and visited Larnach Castle, which is a timeless beauty of a castle. It looks like it belongs in the Scottish Highlands, and the grounds and gardens to the place were breathtaking. And also, Dunedin is the furthest possible city that I could visit from my hometown, so that was pretty interesting. And number 5 is Abel Tasman, and boy do I wish we could have spent longer here. Golden sands and an abundance of wildlife and sun, all of the sun. We stopped here on our way down to Fox Glacier to start a new job, and we stayed a couple of days. It was a special place. We spent more time outdoors than inside. We stayed in Motueka, and the farm where we stayed was a haven for animals. Kayaking beach was magic, and if we would have had more time, we would have loved to explore the Abel Tasman coastal track, which is a 60-kilometre walking track within the national park, and it takes 3 to 5 days depending on your speed. And if you commit to the whole quest there are huts along the way that are operated by the Department of Conservation that you can book, but they are very limited in spaces, so you're best to book in advance. But yeah, definitely recommend Abel Tasman. So at number 4, I have Tekapo. The Lake Tekapo Blue. What an absolute treat for the eyes. We visited in June and we were treated to snow in the Canterbury region. And if you visit in the summer months, you'll be treated to the visual delight that are the in-bloom lupins. The traditional Maori name given to the lake is Tekapo, which means to leave in haste at night. And Maori legend tells of 2 chiefs who were leaving the lake under cover of darkness when they were caught out by the rising sun, and they then subsequently became the 2 pillars which now mark the entrance to the Lindis Pass. We enjoyed a walk around the Tekapo Regional Park, and we treated ourselves to a night swim at Tekapo Hot Springs. We stayed at an amazing place too, which we got a ridiculously good rate for, and I'll go into detail why in my next video. So at number 3 I have Aoraki, also known as Mount Cook. It's majestic, grandiose, and it makes you feel like an ant. We took a drive up from Otago in late February 2020, prior to the chaos that was about to unfold, and we had one of our most memorable nights of the whole trip. Big sky stargazing. We had a perfectly clear night, and at 4,367 square kilometres, the Dark Sky Reserve is one of the largest in the world. Yeah, it was truly breathtaking. On the drive into the national park, you can be a massive tourist like we were and take advantage of the ample photo opportunities. They're really too good not to. And we also attempted to sleep in our car for the first time, which ended up being more of a calamity than anything. So at number 2 is Queenstown. Yep, like pretty much every other visitor to New Zealand, my wife and I were bewitched by Queenstown's charm. It is one of the nicest places you could ever hope to visit. There's a seemingly endless list of activities to do and places to explore, both in Queenstown but also in the neighbouring towns and valleys, places such as Glenorchy, Gibbston, Arrowtown. Not to mention all the peaks, walks, lakes. It's utter paradise. And if I ever win the lottery, I'm going to buy a house there immediately. We were fortunate enough to live there for 6 months in the first half of 2020. When that first lockdown hit, I felt so grateful that of all the places we could be in the world, that we were there. And as things started to gradually open up again, we were able to visit the onsen hot pools, the Kiwi Park. We took a boat trip out on Lake Wakatipu. My wife loved the Queenstown Rose Gardens, and we would go down there, get some ice cream, sit on the wall in front of the lakefront. The Skyline gondola takes you from the town up to the top of Bob's Peak, and it provides amazing views over the region. Queenstown and the surrounding areas are a must visit, and they definitely live up to the hype. So at number 1, rather predictably, is Milford Sound. If you're going to do one thing in New Zealand, make it this. We visited during the post-COVID lull of June 2020, and as a result there were very few tourists, meaning that there were actually only 3 people on our tour from Te Anau up to Milford Sound. And what's even better was that day it was snowing. This provided us with a bit of uncertainty though, as our guide had never experienced snow in the area before, but fortunately we were granted access and the scenery was breathtaking. We stopped at several points along the way, and when we reached the Sounds our boat was waiting for us, and our trip through the Sounds was better than we could have hoped. We had sun, rain, snow, rainbows and dolphins. It was quite a powerful and emotional experience. It brought a tear to the eye, I'm not going to lie. The weather is so changeable in that region, and you never know what you're going to get. Most people wish for a clear sunny day, but I wouldn't change what we had for anything. If you enjoyed, I'd be massively grateful if you could like and subscribe. As mentioned earlier, my goal for this channel is to eventually get back to New Zealand, and over the next few weeks I'll be diving deeper into my time living in New Zealand and sharing some stories from a truly unforgettable year. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.